Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to implement Google AdMob ads inside our Unity project. In the end of this video, you will be able to show the banner ads, interstitial ads, rewarded ads, and stay tuned for the native ads. Let's go. Now I have created a blank project with the main camera and the directional light. So let's first convert our project to Android. For that, click on File, Build Setting. Now add your current scene into the build setting. Then click on Android, switch platform. Now let's close this and let me just quickly change my Unity's layout. Now let's change our scene name to AdMob ads. Now let's create a folder for 2D sprites and let me just import my coins image. Cool. Now let's set our UI layout. First we will create a canvas. Then we will create a total coins text which will display our current total coins. After that we will create some buttons for loading and showing the ads. And we will create one last button for loading the native ads, and we will show the native ad as soon as it is loaded. And for that we have to create a 3D environment. So let me just quickly create a ground and a wall, and let's create a world canvas, and I will place it on top of the wall. So this is basically going to be an image in top of the wall, and we are going to load our native ad into this image. Now with that, our setup is complete. Now let's create a game object that will hold our scripts and name it as ads manager. Now let's create a folder for script, and we will create a new script as AdMob ads script. Now let's attach our script to our game object. Now before writing any code, we have to download the Google AdMob ads plugin from their website. So now let's open this website. The link is in the description. Now click this download the plugin and it will take us to the GitHub page. And from here we can download our Google Ads plugins Unity's package. Just click it. Now once it is downloaded, just drag and drop it inside your project and click import. Now click enable, and we got an error, build failed. Now don't worry about that, we will just fix it. So let's set up our project. Here you can fill your company name and product name, and for the device orientation I would like to set it to the portrait. For the scripting backend you can change it to IL to CPP and pick the ARM64. Let me just add the company name to Coco3D. Now in the publishing setting, let's add a key store, and then we will click on add key and click yes. And now tick all of these options, and now let me just clear this, and now let's try to force resolve, and it says that resolution succeeded. So now let's jump into the coding, but before that let's click on assets, Google mobile ads, then click on settings. And here we will add our test app ID. So let me just copy and paste it, and I will leave the rest of the option as it is. Now let's open script and add using Google mobile ads.api, using TM Pro, using Unity engine.ui. Now let's create a text to show our total coins and a string for our app ID. Now our ad ID are going to be of two types, one for the Android and the other is for the iOS. So now let's create if Unity Android and elif Unity iPhone, and in this region we will create our IDs. So let's write string bannerId, string interid which is for interstitial, string rewardedId, and string nativeId. And we will copy paste it for the iOS as well. Now let me just quickly paste the test IDs. Now let's create a reference to the ads. Now let's create a banner view. Then let's create an interstitial ad. Then let's create a rewarded ad. And now if I try to type the native ad, it will not appear because the native ads are not generally included into your Google Ads plugin, which we downloaded. So we have to download the native ads plugin separately. Now let's download the native ads plugin. The link is in the description. And we will just click import. And we will force resolve just one more time. And now if we try to write the native ads, it will appear without any problem. Now I have created the reference IDs, but before initializing the Google AdMob ads, let's first create a region for distributing the rewards. So I will create an extra region and I will create a function for grant coin, which will be called when someone successfully watch a rewarded ads, and it will just accept a coin and it will update the player pref accordingly. And after that, we will just show that coins into our main screen. So let's create a one more function for that, for show coins, and it will just print the coins that we currently have. Now that's it for the extra region. And now let's initialize our AdMob ads. Now let's create a start, and inside this, first we have to show the coins, then we have to write mobile ads dot rise ad events on Unity main thread. Now we have to write this to align all the ad events that we are gonna get from the AdMob into our Unity's main thread, which is not done by default. And after that, we will write mobile ads dot initialize, and we will write init status, and then inside this we can just print that ads initialized. Now with this, our initialization is done. Now let's focus on banner ads first. So let's create a region for that. Now for banner ads, we have to create two functions, one for loading the banner ads and the second is for destroying the banner ads. Now loading the banner ad is basically divided into three steps. First is the creating the banner, in which we will just decide the size of the banner and its position. Then second, we have to listen to the banner events. For example, when the banner is successfully shown or when the banner is clicked. And after all of that, we can just simply load the banner. So let's create a function for creating the banner view. And inside this function, first we will check that the banner view, if it is not equal to null, then first we will destroy our old banner ad, and then we will create a new banner ad. Banner view equals to new banner view, and we will pass in our banner ID and the size of the banner. And after that, we have to pass in the position, and we will pass in the top position for now. And with that, our create banner view is completed. Now let's focus on our second method, which is listening to the banner events. And for that, we will create a new function, listen to banner events, and we will call it just right after the creating the banner view. Now Google AdMob provide a lot of events, so I will just copy paste it from their website. So let's copy this and paste it inside our script. And let me just remove the underscores. Now in this, you will get a lot of callbacks for, let's say, clicking the banner view, and there are a lot other callback events which may be useful for you. But for now, let's just close this and focus on our loading the banner. Now in this, first we have to check that banner view, if it is equal to null, then first we have to create it. And if we have a banner view, then we have to create an add request. So we'll write where add request equal to new add request, and we have to add a keyword, add request dot keyword dot add Unity AdMob sample. Now this basically tells the AdMob server that the ads that is requested is going to be displayed inside a Unity game. So it will choose an ad accordingly, and you can just add more keywords if you like, but this is completely optional and you can just leave it as it is. And after creating the add request, we can print that we are now loading the banner ad. And for that, we have to write banner view dot load at and pass in the add request, which will automatically show the banner ad on the screen. And now let's destroy the banner ads. So first we will check that banner view should not be equal to null, And if it's not equal to null, then we can print that we are now destroying the banner ad. And you can just write banner view dot destroy and banner view equals to null. Now let's test it. Let's save our script and link our banner button to our script. And this should be destroy banner instead of show banner. And let's connect this button to the destroy banner function as well. Now let's run our game and click on the load banner. And yeah, it is showing the banner ad. And now let's click on destroy the banner, and it destroyed the banner. Now let's try to change the banner size to medium rectangle. And let's run this. And as you can see, it is a very big banner. So just like this, we have a lot of other banner options. But for now, we will change it back to the banner. Now let's move on to our next ad, which is the interstitial ad. Now for the interstitial ad, we will create three functions. One is the load interstitial ad. Second is the show interstitial ad. And third is the interstitial events, like the interstitial ad is clicked or closed. So it will handle all of that. Now inside the load interstitial ad function, first we have to check that if interstitial ad is not equal to null, that means there is already an interstitial ad and we have to destroy it. And after that, we have to create the ad request, just like we created it for the banner ads. So let's just copy it and paste it right here. And after that, we can load the interstitial ad. So write interstitial ad dot load. And in here, we will pass in our interstitial ad and our ad request, which we just created, and then create brackets for interstitial ad and pass in the ad and an error. And here we have to add our interid, which is the interstitial ID. So inside this function, first we will check for errors. So if our error is not equal to null or our ad is equals to null, that means we got an error. So we will print the interstitial ad failed to load, and else we will just write interstitial ad is equals to the ad that we just got from the server, and then we can just call the interstitial events and we can pass in our interstitial ad. So with this, our load interstitial ad is completed. Now let's work on show interstitial. Now before showing the interstitial ad, we have to check that interstitial ad should not be equal to null and interstitial ad dot can show ads. Then we can just show the interstitial ad, or else we can print that ad is not ready. And for the interstitial ad events, we will just copy paste it from the AdMob documentation to save some time. And let me just fix it a little bit. And with that, our interstitial ad is completed. Now let's save this and first link our buttons to our desired functions. And now let's run the game. Let's press load interstitial. So it says that interstitial ad loaded. So now let's press the show interstitial, and yay, we got the interstitial ad. So let's close it for now. And we are getting our all callbacks as well. So our banner and interstitial is completed. Now let's focus on the rewarded ads. So just like the interstitial ads, we will create three functions for rewarded ads as well. One is the load rewarded ad, then show rewarded ad, and the last is rewarded ad events. Now for loading the rewarded ads, we have to first check that rewarded ad. If it is not equal to null, then we have to destroy it, just like we did in the interstitial. And after that, for the ad request, we will just copy it from our banner ads. And after that, we will write rewarded ads.load, and we will pass in our rewarded ad ID. Then we will pass in our ad request, and then we will write our rewarded ad and the load ad error and error. And just like in the interstitial, first we will check for errors. And if we got an error, we will write rewarded failed to load. And if that's not the case, we will just print that rewarded ad load successfully. And now we can store our ad inside our rewarded ad reference, and we can call this rewarded ad events, which will print our all callbacks. So now the load rewarded ad is complete. So now let's work on show rewarded ads. Now to show the rewarded ads, we have to first check that rewarded ad should not be equal to null and rewarded ads dot can show ads. If that's the case, then we have to write rewarded ad dot show, and inside this function we can distribute the rewards. So let me just print that give rewards to player, and for rewarding the player we have already created a function, so we will just call that function grant coins, and we will give 100 coins to player. So this will give the 100 coins to player after the player successfully watches a 30-second video clip. And let's print the else statement as well. And now for the rewarded ad events, we will just copy paste it from the server to save some time. So let's copy it and paste it inside our script. And let me just fix it a little bit. And with that, our rewarded ad is completed. So now let's test our rewarded ad. Let's link our buttons. Now let's press play. Now let's click load rewarded, and it says that rewarded ad loaded. Now let's click on show rewarded ads, and here we can see our rewarded ad. As in the corner we are getting a timer, and when it becomes the 0, and yes, we get the 100 coins as well. So that means our rewarded ad is working perfectly, and we are also getting all the callbacks. Now let's focus on our last ad, which is the native ad. Let's create a region for that. And in this video we are going to show the native ad inside an image. So let's create an image, and then let's create a function for requesting the native ads. And inside this function we will write ad loader equals to new ad loader dot builder, and we will pass in our native ad id, and then we will write dot for native ad dot build. Now let's handle the callbacks, as it could be a success or failure. So we will write ad loader dot on native ad loaded equals to handle native ad loaded, and we will just create this function. And just like this, we will create one more function for on ad failed to load, and we will create a function for that as well. So we got two functions for a success or a failure. And after that we will write ad loader dot load ad, and we will write new ad request dot builder dot build. Now in the first function we will write the native ad loaded, and in the second function we will write the native ad failed to load. And now let's write the native ads dot I think I have done some mistake. Okay, so failed is the first function, so we have to paste it inside here. And let's just change this, and then we will assign our native ad variable with the native ad that we just got from the server, and here we will show the ad as well. So let's write texture 2D icon texture equals to this dot native ad dot get icon texture. With this we now have a texture 2D, and now we have to create a sprite with it. So let's create a sprite equals to sprite dot create, and pass in our icon texture, then write new rect. The position should be 0, and let's give it a width and height, and let's give it a pivot. And now we have a sprite, and we can just simply show it inside our image. So let's write image.sprite is equals to this sprite. And now our native ad is completed, and we can now test it. And now let's link our native ad button to our request native ad function. But to test the native ad, we have to build our project, as the native ad does not run inside the Unity editor. So let's build our project and run it inside our Android device. Now guys, I am inside my Android device. So let's click on load banner, and here we got the banner ad. So let's destroy the banner for now, and let's click the load interstitial. And now let's click on the show interstitial, and here we got our interstitial ad. Now let's click on the load rewarded, and let's wait for some time. Now let's click on the show rewarded, and here we got our rewarded ads. and we also got our 100 coins. Now let's click on load native, and here we got our native ad on top of our cube. So guys, now we have completed the AdMob ad integration inside our Unity project, and now you may have want to show the real ads to your user, and for that we just have to replace the test IDs with the real IDs. For that, log in into the AdMob's account, and if you are doing it for the very first time, then you will get this option, and I will select yes, send me the suggestion, and I will select my countries. Then just select the you agree for all the terms and condition and click start using AdMob, and now click continue to AdMob. And now we are inside our AdMob dashboard. So let's add our first app, Android, and my game is not live on the Play Store. Click continue. Now give it a name. So let me just write demo app. Now click add app. Now my app is successfully created. Now we are ready to create the ad units. So click on add ad units, and let's select the banner ads for now. Now we have to give it a unique name. So let's write bannerId Android and leave this option as it is, and click on create ad unit. Now we have our app ID and the banner ID. We can just copy it and paste it inside our scripts. Now obviously I'm not going to do it for all of them, as I don't have to launch this game. And hopefully you got the idea. You can create more ad units and you can just paste it inside your script, and when you build the game with the real ad unit, it will show the real ads. So I think that's it for this video. So thank you so much guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.